which is good. So, nice. Axe, Juggernaut, Troll, as well as Wisp being banned out. Wow, that's just all these teams, isn't it? The Juggernaut, even if he did get nerfed up, people still enjoy playing him. The Axe, he also got nerfed, but still worth an early ban. And the Troll Warlord is just able to give you such huge power. They may come to a pushing lineup, or if it's in the middle of a team fight, he's just so damn good. And the Wisp combination, both teams have run Wisp Tiny combos recently, and of course, Wisp with any kind of hero within a team fight is what you search for. This is the way these teams will work. Team Empire will go into a brawler kind of state. Moscow 5 normally they go full brawler state, as in gloves do come off. So Team Empire look to see a little bit more security as far as their drafts go, a little bit more team fight orientation with some nice stable control abilities. While Moscow 5, they'll find the heroes and the abilities that will allow them to dive and continue to dive, keep that momentum rolling. That's what I look for from Moscow 5. And Dazzle's a perfect example of that one. The weave gives you such a huge armor bonus or the enemy team deficit that you're able to be so over-aggressive. The Shallow Grave as well, depending on the timing you can get. Yeah, you're going to be able to dive pretty deep with that one. Even better now that I actually got the Brewmaster pickup. So it's the split. As long as it's up, you can be battling pretty hard. You've got yourself a solid laner. Potential dual lane, off lane as well. Normally I wouldn't suggest this, but it was something which I saw from Moscow 5, I think 2 weeks ago, when they ran the Dazzle and Brewmaster onto that off lane. And it wasn't a full tri lane. What they search for is the earlier levels into their cores as well as their supports, without having to lose too much in the lanes. So you're able to contest the farm directly and not just have this big farmed up Slark who arrives 15 minutes into the game. He had all the space in the world, has a Midas, has level 11, and you've got a huge problem like that. Instead, they try and stay on top of these problems before they become problems. So, Moscow 5, I like the first two drafts. Team Empire, there is absolutely nothing unusual about a Vengeful Spirit pickup at the very, very start. Good control hero, as we have seen Vengeful Spirit already in today's earlier matches. And, well, okay.
Team Empire's
Lycan pick up in the second phase. Welcome to Aura time. With Lycan and Vengeful Spirit together, if Team Empire feel confident enough. Normally it is Silent who takes up the role as the Lycan. I doubt we're going to see like a Drow and Visage combination to combine with this, but Resolution has played the Lycan as well, so it might be possible that that's the route they go down. I highly doubt Moscow 5 is going to allow them to do such a thing, though. I really, really doubt it.
5 seconds remaining.
Actually, take out the Storm Spirit.
Team
Maybe a little bit more
Empire's
worried about
turn
who's going to win that
ban.
mid lane, and Storm Spirit would be capable of doing such a thing, but at the same time, you get a Lycan over on the Dire side. The ability just to have someone a little bit tankier to... I shouldn't even need a tankier here. You just need a Vladimir's offering over on the Lycan. Give him space on the top lane to get a little bit of extra farm, and you'll be good and golden. Just to jump inside the pit, and then you manipulate the Roshan. And Moscow 5, maybe they would then try and look for something else to give him vision inside the pit. Apart from Dazzle Weave, the range of that thing is quite good, and it does grant you that vision quickly. So you will be able to see if Team Empire is in there. But you more than likely want to have something a little bit more stable to look inside that pit without having to commit. A hero like a Brewmaster who would be normally your initiator, blink, clap, split. So they have to be a little bit more mindful about that one. I'm wondering too if Team Empire go for something which is a little bit more their style too, in for their secondary support, and get something along the lines of like a silencer. I'm looking for the control over the Brewmaster as the primary thing. You could also get Yoki's Puck. That's another option. Maybe that's actually the main reason why Scream banned out the Storm Spirit. He's looking at Orchid here. He's looking for the heroes that can jump in, control, and make sure that Brewmaster has no effect during the team fight. That might actually be the avenue they're looking to go down instead. Team Empire are more worried about Moscow 5 just having this team fight potential. The Tuskar is going to be banned out. Another fun hero from Moscow 5. They always like to play that in the past. It was just this aggressive kind of like roll in, take out mid lane. And early on, you can battle for those 100 runes. So you still want to have a really good level 1 fight. The level 1 fight at this point goes the way of Team Empire. Just because they've got both Howl as well as VS Stun. They're just great control abilities, which you don't really get that from Moscow 5. Okay, they're going to ban the Tidehunter.
Team pick.
More worried about that team fight control factor, which Team Empire will be looking at. Again, though, I could still flag the fact you could have the Puck onto that off lane. A great hero up against a Brewmaster. So unless Moscow 5 is going to pick it up right now, I'm fairly certain it's going to be high on the list for Team Empire to select. But when you've already got a Brewmaster being selected, you know, unless you're going to force the Brewmaster to the off lane, then
10 seconds
yeah, I suppose your Puck could also run on the off lane too. He's got a good way to dodge that Vengeful Spirit stun, so I got nothing against that. I'm just got a feeling that he'll lose that battle primarily just because the VS's damage output. You combine that with the Lycan Howl of Terror. Howl of Terror, really. I just combine the two of them. Howl as well as Wave of Terror.
Team Empires,
then you got a really good combination of find kills, and they go for a Night Stalker pickup. Almost, okay. So if you are really going to think about picking up a Puck up against a Night Stalker, it's a really bad idea. The Night Stalker is able to roll over that Puck when the team fights commence. So, yeah. I'd actually prefer now from Team Empire to get something that's a little bit more... I should still prefer to go for the Aura strat.
Remaining.
I don't think Puck is going to be the greatest thing for the offlane, but you can still work your way into the Visage. Even without having draw range, you can still do such a thing. I think the draw range would also be very... okay, Drunken Haze would be a bit of a nuisance, but you could technically try and run more of an Arteezy-style draw ranger in the mid. I'm fairly certain though Silent will want to be playing that draw ranger if he is going to select it. But the Aura strat would just roll through Moscow 5 once it comes up. If it doesn't come up, then Moscow 5, like their team fight in the mid game, even the late early game, is really strong. Moscow 5 are also known for running a support Night Stalker, so we should keep this in mind. Team Empire now actually going to go for the AA,
team pick.
so we're getting a little bit more team fight control coming their way. Well, if you're going to play the AA, I suppose that does kind of screw a little bit around with the Dazzle, but his Shallow Grave is still going to do the work required. And hitting that Ancient Apparition Ice Blast over on the Night Stalker is very, very difficult to do with his high movement speed during the daytime, during the nighttime, and Brewmaster with his split ability, potential blink away as well.
5 seconds remaining.
They're going to have to be really on the money or find a control hero, someone that will hold them in position.
Time.
That's why Puck might even still be played up here by Team Empire, even though they are going up against Night Stalker. They could also look into going heavy melee. So you run the Lycan on the mid, and you run something like a Faceless Void on the safe lane. But if they do that, I actually prefer a Team Empire go in for something else like a Bat Rider selection. Take the Bat Rider and run him on the safe lane. Depending on who's the offlane for Moscow 5. Okay, Bristol back. Don't do that. It's really bad idea now. Because I thought with the Ancient Apparition, the Vengeful Spirit, you could potentially run an aggro tri-lane with this. You got a lot of damage coming out. You still got really good control coming from those two heroes. So potentially, they could rip apart any safe lane. Because the Lycan AA VS, no melee hero can really contest up against the Lycan Howl buff up, but it's the Ancient Apparition and the VS together with just a +1.
10 seconds
and you almost have to run the Bristleback as a safe lane core in this game to make it work.
5 seconds remaining.
They just need a little bit more control from Team Empire, though, and they might be able to just keep the front faced in. And they go a Timbersaw pickup? Well, there's their battle up against the Bristlebacks. Yeah, we're going to run a Timbersaw safe lane. I'm almost certain that's going to be a resolution like it in the mid up against Night Stalker or Brewmaster. The Timbersaw is going to just win hands down on that top lane. I don't think it's going to be an aggro tri-lane because they need to have an extra stunner. They don't want to rely on Timbersaw's Whirling Death and Timber Chain to find kills. That's not the part they're looking for.
5 seconds remaining.
So Timber's more about the laner. Yeah, that would have been nice. A Weaver would have been beautiful. A Weaver with a VS and an Ancient Apparition. It would be death on the bottom lane, and Team Empire will be the Reapers. And they're just going to try and beat the living crap out of Team Empire on this offlane. Team Empire have to batten down the hatches. They've got one last support hero to go here.
10 seconds remaining.
And Team Empire have to think about, okay, what's going to allow them to survive or fight us?
5 seconds
now,
remaining.
the Dazzle will let them survive to a point. But the Shallow Grave, you can't rely on a lot because you're still going to have a large amount of damage coming out from Team Empire continuously. So they need either more stability, and they just batten down the hatches and they pick something like an Abaddon, or yeah, no, that doesn't work. They need to have someone with some level of control or pushback. Skywrath Mage could be an option here. A good silence up against the Timbersaw. But Lycan will just destroy him, and if Ancient Apparition hits an ultimate, then he's got very little chance to
10
survive. So you need a
seconds
tanky
remaining.
support to work with Moscow 5, or they push that Night Stalker into the support
5
role, but
seconds
then he's just going to get
remaining.
shredded apart by the Timbersaw because he can't get enough farm to fight him. And then she banned up the Luna. So Team
Radiant's
Empire,
team pick.
looks like Silent is believing this is a support Night Stalker because he takes out the Luna. And that this Balinar is in fact a support role. If they're going to do that, they better be looking for kills. Like, they have to be hunting. If you go look for something like that, then you need something along the lines of like a Mirana or like you void into a secondary
Lena.
stunt, and they go Lena.
Team
Okay.
Empire's turn to
That gives you a stun. She'll be able to hit a Light Strike array because Night Stalker's void's enough for the slow. The silence is good up against Timbersaw, so you've already got that nice controller. Your burst damage, like the Laguna Blade, especially with the negatives upgrade, damn, that thing is broken. But the Laguna Blade is going to be really good up against the VS and the Ancient Apparition. My issue is, we are so mid-game orientated that in late game,
10 seconds.
it's going to be
remaining.
pretty difficult. And Team Empire, I don't think they should even play for the late game.
5 seconds.
Get a hero that's going to fight nice and early. I actually got a feeling now with seeing the lineup the way it is, that something like an
Reserve
Invoker
time.
for Resolution would be perfect. Plus Wex, they actually go for the Puck instead. Alright, so the Puck control factor is still going to be there. And you'll have to battle up against the mid. Now, the admin did ask for a remake, so last pick is Centaur. Okay, so we had someone disconnect out or something. Okay, well, so last pick is Centaur, which means we actually get a Timbersaw up in towards the mid lane. So, quick remake time. Yeah, everyone's out. I should get myself out too. Always want to make 100% set before that happens. Alright, so Centaur is last as opposed to the Puck. Something must have gone slightly wrong. Out of the way. Both teams get to quickly connect in. We'll look for our Chinese caster as well to come and join us in a moment. As, we are going to have more Russian streamers in as well. So hopefully the Chinese guy realizes what we're doing. Yeah, but as far as our Russian stream goes, Pingy is away for 2 days. He'll be back tomorrow now. We've had no Russian stream for the last 2 days. But we did also organize WePlay. The WePlay casters will have access to an MLG channel, and they'll be able to stream out. We've also got Spanish hooked up already, and I believe we also have... Yeah, we have another language stream in there as well. So, yeah, I think it's the Brazilians. Yep. Yep. So we are providing more and more languages here on the MLG platform for people to watch the Join Dota MLG Pro League. Hopefully you are enjoying the show. All right, so it was just random at the end. So that one chase the last pick. If not, we agree. Considering the Puck was selected without any like the Lena was selected and then the Puck was selected. So it was Moscow 5 who didn't have the last pick. It was Team Empire had the last pick, and then just random. So okay, so we're gonna go. All right, cool. As long as everyone's happy, I'm happy. I'm happy. Yes. Oh, we can launch it again. And for the first time, like, we get to do this. For all those guys out there that listen to Dota TV from the very, very start, they have that auto-watch button clicked in. Greetings and salutations, Dota fans, to everyone who's watching. And you get to hear us talk from the very, very start of the VOD. So welcome if you're tuning in on Dota TV. Thanks as well for purchasing the ticket inside the game. You are helping to raise the prize pool up to a wonderful sum. I think we've actually hit over 85,000. I'm just going to double check as well what we're actually up to on this tournament. So yeah, we actually hit almost $82,000. We do have more fundraising things coming in for Season 1 ticket. Hopefully this will help everyone. Oh, wait, what? Wait, what? Yeah. Remake again. Because that Earthspear is something to be there. I'm like, wait, that's not right. No way that's right. There's no way in all hell that is in fact a correct pickup. We are not playing Earth Spirit in this game. So we've already had players disconnect. I'm wondering if our poor little host, he's had himself a rough start to the evening, but our poor little host has been working his ass off. Poor little network. But we're into. I don't know what the hell went wrong. Maybe he hit the wrong button, but the players come in nice and quick, and even our Chinese streamer knows what the hell's going on. Should I tell you your picks again? Are we really at this point? Are we really at this point? Yoki! Oh, he even agrees to it. Oh, terrific. Alright. Okay. Revenge like an AA Timber as well as Puck. This is the lineup right now from Team Empire. So there's no Centaur at the end. They will, in fact, be playing with the Puck. It ran him at the last point. I'm just thinking Empire must have run out of time when they selected that hero. So I was like, okay. Terrific. Yeah, for some reason Team Empire picked Tinker. It's like, wait. That's not 100% right. So again, welcome to everyone inside of Dota TV. Thanks for purchasing this again. Thanks for making the prize pool even bigger. Thanks for supporting the competition. It's wonderful. It's amazing. It's groovy. I'm Toby, one of your hosts for the evening. Hope you enjoy the audio inside the game. It was broken last week, but it's working this week. Hi. Everyone has a hero. Everyone has a hero, and if everyone hits Alt Enter, we would even start faster. But we'll have the countdown of 50 seconds on the clock. And I think we actually lost. Did we lose the ticket? I don't know if we lost the ticket during this. Okay. We just don't have the header. The header's not available for this game. Alright, cool. But I've been assured by the admin that our ticket is working. Wonderful. So, I am talking to people inside Dota TV. Alright, so let's get into the game. So, we'll have over on Team Empire. It will be Aloha Dance as a vengeful spirit, always want to fly, taking up the roles of the ancient apparition. And it'll be Silent taking up the core farming role as the Puck on the top lane. Resolution, actually, he's the man with the quelling blade, and Silent, they're both potentially built for the top. Looks like almost Resolution's built to go towards the middle lane instead, and Yoki will be the off-lane Timbersaw. On the off-lane for Moscow 5, Big Num's already headed up a little bit further north. Looks like he'll be babysitting the Bristleback. He's got a lot of extra consumables for him. Screen will be here as the Night Stalker, and it puts the Brewmaster into that mid role. So Screen is in fact going to be bringing this support Night Stalker build, and that leaves ZXC as a core leaner on the bottom lane. Like, we've seen God. Like, God likes to play that leaner as a solo mid. Oh, Silent. It's only Void, though. Potentially, he could still orb himself away. But this is the vision right now of the dire side. I don't see anyone. All of Moscow 5 are waiting to battle this one up. And they see Aloha Dance as well as Resolution. Now, Aloha Dance is a sentry ward. He's too close. The Void to start with. The Light Striker Ray will connect. And Resolution can just watch him. He can't help him. VS is dead. The first pounce is made. And in typical Russian style, people die before we even start.
The battle begins.
Alright. Resolution. Is he also in trouble? I'm not quite sure this 100 rune's going to be really worth it for him. Moscow 5, they're body blocking him up. I don't think it's not there. There's not enough mana for another Void yet. Another 8 seconds until that one, but they've got enough physical damage. They get through Resolution as well as he tried to come down for that 100. And ends up giving so much more back over towards Moscow 5. So the first 2 kills are already in. And Lena takes one, the Brewmaster takes the other. So Brewmaster already with his early bottle. And the Lena gaining momentum on this bottom lane. May not be as terrific up against Yoki, but when you run ZXC as the core in this lane, you're able to get a lot of burst damage up against the Timbersaw. So his reactive armor doesn't really do a lot. This harassment from ZXC, in fact, actually helps Yoki more than it hurts him. Like, you attack him, he's just regenerating at just such a high rate. So up on top lane, Silent doesn't really have a lot of kill potential up against Slander. Even with a low R dance here, there's not really that much to play around with. And the Brewmaster should win the lane up against the Lycan pretty hands down until the levels come up. Looks like top lane, the VS with the stun. The Orb's going to fly in as well. He does join himself in. They need that extra physical damage, and they're going to get it from the Howl. So Slander actually turns his front side towards Team Empire, and they get a lot of physical DPS when that buff comes from Resolution. Hence the early kill arrives. But they did only pick up the support, Team Empire. And they have to be careful with their other lanes. So Yoki has been able to find almost level 3. Boots as well up now. Alina will easily crack a level 3. You also see her build. She's going in for even more physical DPS, leveling up the Fiery Soul. This is what we see from God's Lina. I'm going to use him as probably a big example because as far as solo Linas go, he's kind of like the only player in the CAS scene I know which even still remotely thinks about doing such a thing. But what you do is you get high levels up in Fiery Soul, you get some really good spam out, and then your physical DPS just rips apart whoever's on the lane. Now, in this case, it doesn't really work as well. Primarily because, again, the physical DPS up against a Timbersaw is not the way to really find kills. Look at Screen and Yoki. The game isn't lagged out, they are literally just standing at each other. And Screen doesn't want to walk up because he knows, well, if there's Whirling Death, he dies. So Yoki walks down just to say, you know what, I can see where you are as well. But Screen, what is this posturing? He doesn't know anything, he's just standing watching him. Is this like inching him forward? The ultimate mind game. I think he's trying to see if there's Whirling Death or not. Because there's no reason just to physically hit into Yoki. Like, there's no point in doing that one at all. Because, again, like, the physical DPS of a Night Stalker is quite poor, and the reactive armor makes up for it. Now, Lycan, well, the Resolution is getting back on top of the CS here. Still 16-8 up against the 11 CS, or down 12-1 CS of the Lycan. So that's not too shabby. As Empire, as they also going to try and dive into the tower. Silent's going to force the lane out a little bit more, but he cannot use his Illusionary Orb to do such a thing. That's the reason, probably, why he's got his Ring of Basilius turned on. So this creep wave's going to come underneath the tier 1 tower. Slander moves over. He's looking to pick something up. They got the Chilling Touch. They need the Howl bonus damage right now. Now will be triggered a little bit too late, but looks like it's still going to be in time. As Silent was able to jaunt in front of the Bristleback and get that pick up. Silent's still going to take considerable damage as he walks back up to his lane. And Bignum even looking for a little bit of spill damage from that Shadow Wave. So 2-2 now on the board. Keep things a little bit more level. Now Bristleback just getting shut down a little bit. He's still at level 3. He's still also managed to find, well, I suppose 6 CS is not that great up against the 20-for-4 of Silent.
Radiant's bottom tower.
But he has been living in a bit of a world of fear. Yoki. Timber Chain up. But welcome to first nighttime cycle. Which means Screen can easily chase down Yoki here. The question is if he can just keep chasing him fast enough to get the damage up before he reaches the tier 1 tower. Now, ZXC, he didn't really find the right time, but then again, Yoki salves up. This may just be enough life points. If he can reach the trees again, Timber Chain's coming off cooldown, or at least having enough mana for it. But that Fiery Soul is doing some work, and probably more, the level 3 up in the Dragon Slave. Just leaving the 1 point up in the stun. And ZXC, if he wants to, are we going to see Arcane Boots? It will enable Night Stalker to do a lot more, but I got a funny feeling the Screen's looking to give that kind of support. It should, yeah, Arcanes make sense. But we're actually going to go for Treads instead. The Arcanes make sense if you're looking for just that power right now. But what you can get later on is something like a Yule Scepter, and then you got your own setup to battle up against, well, basically anybody. Because you set them up into a Light Strike array, and with Laguna Blade, you've got the high movement speed from it, you got great mana regeneration. With the Treads now, it's just a hell of a lot more physical DPS that just flies out of her. And these 2 points of reactive armor from Timbersaw, he's getting real scared because he gets the burst damage from the very, very start. Low R dance, this rotation from Empire will not succeed again. He just does as much damage to Bignum as possible, but Night Stalker able to get the kill, and they smoke very quickly. In fact, I think that was too quick. The pings came out from the Ancient Apparition. He saw the fact the smoke was used. Because they still had the vision from the dying hero. And that's why Silent moves to the trees. Buys up Treads for himself, and maybe he's out a little bit too far. Is there a Crippling Fear? there is. And at nighttime, that's a very, very long silence. In fact, long enough, the silence should be able to die. Always want to fly. Oh, there's your orb. Drawn away. Stick charge. He's got to keep running here. The Vortex is slowing down screen. Support's coming in as well with the TP. Silent turns for one last silence with a phase shift as well. So Aloha Dance can try and get this done over on the Bristleback. He's the easier one to try and chase down, but Screen is not going to make this too easy. Comes in, battling up against Always Want to Fly. He's going to solo him up right now. Runs towards the tree line. Tries to juke him up and down. They got the Howl of Terror. So Lena, in fact, goes down to the like in the middle of this one. The clap, however, from the Brewmaster. He picks up one. He'll look for the second one as well, but the Night Stalker will take the kill. So Lena dying on the bottom lane after looks like a Lycan rotation down there. Used his ultimate form as well for that. But the 2 kills on the supports give some nice experience over to the Brewmaster, and again that Night Stalker.
Radiant's bottom tower
This early nighttime phase, and this is why Moscow 5 like to run the support Night Stalker, because they try and capitalize on that very high movement speed during the first nighttime cycle. It was a while ago it got modified to be 4 minutes as the first nighttime cycle. That just gives you this quick burst that makes Night Stalker viable as a support hero. It's very different to the heroes which we saw like MMY playing back at TI4, where you had something like a Juggernaut support. Then you try and farm up Ancients with that. This support hero is all about fighting. It's all about getting on top of the early game. So you see also phase boots coming in, increase the damage, increase the chase ability, and just level up as far as you can. He's going to come for one last attack before the end of the nighttime cycle, and it's on Resolution, who has no mana. There's a Blink Dagger over on the Brewmaster. He's going to get the Blink Clap on Resolution. If that's the only way that was really going to work. On Screen Effects is going to bail out this one. He runs under a Dire Observer Ward, plants his own aggressive Observer Ward to scout out Always Want to Fly. He's going to try and solo him. This is still nighttime. Comes close on a Resolution, another aggressive Observer Ward, able to scout out Resolution being there. So under the cover of smoke, you'll get these 2 wards out. Does he get out in time before they see him? No. So the smoke is going to break, and they ping out the fact that Screen's there. So this last-ditch effort he had during nighttime, couldn't find the kill in mid, but instead just tried to make it more worthwhile by getting 2 very good aggressive Observer Wards into the enemy jungle. And these will be able to prep for the Brewmaster to try and find kills. The Night Stalker obviously doesn't have his ultimate yet, but he might be able to pick it up in a moment, as they've given him the space in mid. That should, of course, flag the fact that the Brewmaster has moved on. The fact that Night Stalker is getting that space. Aloha Dance, well, there's your Blink Clap. Is he going to go directly for the split? Yes, he does. Quick stun over onto the Ancient Apparition. In fact, he stuns up Puck because he knew the physical DPS was enough to kill off the Ancient Apparition, so Puck has to join into the tree lines, try and waste their time as Slander also moves in after Silent. Big Nub just cuts his way up. He'll find... Wait, he didn't? He didn't go west far enough. Silent, he's taking the damage from the Cool Spray, but they have not found him, and he's in the corner, and Slander has finally caught on to him. He'll orb out. He's a little bit... Okay, he's just going to TP away to safety. Smart play coming up there from Silence. The only way he'd escape. Now Resolution tries to battle up against Alina. Evades the Light Striker Ray. The walls have chipped up a little bit. The Shallow Grave will keep him up, but the Wolves should also be able to finish the job if they can. They're underneath the tower. Resolution again juking that Light Striker Ray, but he can't get past the Brewmaster. Literally plonks his 2 arse cheeks in the middle of the tree line. So Resolution caught in the tree line. They got no way to kill him though. Maybe one slave as a guess. But he TPs away after the ultimate runs out. Yoki, he's got that tree back again, but he cannot reach it. It was a level 2, as you can see, that's just not in range for the grab. And Night Stalker was able to catch out the retreating Timbersaw. He only came to help.
Middle tower
It was only there to help. So, bottom tier 1 tower gets to be pushed in a little bit. Well, there's no real pushing power coming onto the towers at the moment. Darkness has already been triggered by the Night Stalker. It'll wear off, but we're already halfway through our second daytime cycle. And all they got to do is just wait this 50 seconds now. Brewmaster all these up. They can try and find some other kills. And Night Stalker, look at even its build directly into the Aghanim Scepter. This is something that Moscow 5 would do when they're going up against heroes like Broodmother. So the Night Stalker would pick up the Aghanim Scepter, and the secondary support would then buy the gem, and that would allow you to see unobstructed vision with, obviously, the detection to find heroes like the Broodmother route. So there was nowhere to really hide or initiate from up against the Moscow 5 lineup. But this is kind of like a different kind of scenario. Like, you might find the puck somewhere. This is more just a chase, and there's no juking away from the Night Stalker. It's also a really good stat item, so why bypass it? Nice, a fake Bristleback scouting out Resolution. It does scout the fact that Resolution has the Medallion of Courage. He doesn't have the Vladimir's offering, however, yet, so Moscow 5 won't be too concerned about Roshan. I don't think Empire's in any position to take out Roshan. Okay, yeah, they're gonna try it. I suppose Resolution's gonna use this initial stage of the Wolves to tank up a lot. The Wave of Terror flies out. Silent, he's going to try and kill off ZXC. They'll have to get the perfect timing over from... Oh, okay, they just let the Dream Call go anyway. With the Rift, Lina, she's got to look good to play, but then just tries to TP out. Wow, that was optimistic. So Lina drops, and in fact, Moscow 5 have given the opening to Team Empire. They normally would wait until you see the Vladimir's offering. Always going to fly. Have they got a stun? Nope, but they have damage. That was smart from Vignum to wait until the Bristleback had moved up as well, so they got the maximum amount of damage out from that Shadow Wave as possible.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But that's Roshan going the way of Team Empire, so they have an extra lifeline over on the Lycan, who now can complete up his Vladimir's offering. But they'll have to look to defend their towers or at least get some trade-offs. So the tier 1 tower is going to get pushed to the top. And the way to get a trade-off is just going on bottom. Yoki can mop up this creep wave pretty quickly. Now he's got Arcane Boost, giving me a little bit more, well, spammy with his abilities. Dire's already fortified their structures. Primarily because Empire haven't even reached the tower yet. So they're trying to keep their creep wave alive a little bit longer. Silence beating into the tier 1, so we've got ZXC to come back and defend this one. Then he is going to go into that Yule set to build, so no surprise there.
Top tower is under attack.
The tier 1 tower, it belongs to Moscow 5. The physical DPS out here from Slander just rips it apart. Night Stalker's the one to get the last hit, however.
Radiant structures.
Meanwhile, the bottom lane, mass TP's coming in. The Brewmaster split is up. The Lycan Wolves, I'd love just to get back in there as Yoki slices in half the Radiant Creep Wave. Big Num as well as the Brewmaster still waiting here, and the Wave of Terror reveals both of them out. Also puts that Blink Dagger from the Brewmaster on the cooldown. The Shallow Grave on Dazzle protecting himself. Resolution got himself out of range in time before the rest of the heroes came in, but the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast is able to ensure the Dazzle. They force a lot of rotations down, and Resolution just TPs straight up towards the top lane. They don't want to be involved in this, but does Night Stalker really feel he can find a kill? With the Resolution here, he starts it up. Goes with the Void, tries to beat into the Ancient Apparition. There's no Urn Charge, there's no extra tick out here. He can't really battle into the Vortex. Silent with an Invis rune. He wants to get the initial silence, or then again with the VS stun, he gets the silence on the Brewmaster. He blinked himself in. The Dream Call was also used to ensure that extra mini stun on the Brewmaster, so he couldn't split and find any kind of collateral kills, or make space for the Bristleback to do his thing either. So very quick on the fingers. Realizing what had to be committed there from Silent. And that's going to be his Blink Dagger now as well. Putting him at the second highest net worth on the field. The highest one belonging to Resolution, who's the 1/1/1 Lycan. 14 minutes in, with the Vladimir's offering as well. And he's going to go into a BKB build. So we're looking at a fighting Lycan in this game. I was wondering if he might go into Necro units early on, looking for that extra burn up against the Brewmaster. But it feels like he just wants, like, with the amount of stuns which are on the field and control abilities, it's just wiser to go in for the BKB.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Screen's being so over-aggressive. Just runs in front of Yoki. He doesn't care if he's got a DD rune, the physical damage doesn't do jack. But going up against the Chakram with the 3 points up in Whirling Death, that could take a lot of your life points off. Puck in the meantime was capable of killing off that tier 1 tower on bot lane. And Screen, look at him just run in. He's Space Creator. He's playing very similar to we saw Jay from Medeski play early today. The difference is Screen's got a lot more stability on this hero. With 1,200 life points, that's a lot to try and burn through for any team. Until you've got Howl and Chilling Touch applied, at which point you don't really care. Moscow 5 being held at bay for the moment. And all that's happening while Always Wanna Fly is just sitting on top. He could potentially pick up Arcane Boots right now. In fact, he's going to TP in. I'm a little surprised about this. They drop, okay, Sentry Ward. That helps. Gets rid of that Observer Ward. Slender comes so close. Already that ultimate going out from the Night Stalker. Dream Call is going to connect over on screen, but the Brewmaster split trying to cause some chaos. Silent, he's in a little bit of trouble at the moment. Laguna Blade, he needs to get out of this one. The Weaver's having significant effects over on Timbersaw as well as Silent. They need more space here, and they've gone long way east. While the Ice Blast, oh, that's big. Slender's going to go down. Screen's also going to have to be a little bit more careful about this. The clamp missing there from Brewmaster. You need to blink up to start with. They just try and kill off the Ancient Apparition instead. A little bit more support just hanging around. Silence needs to get out of there, and he will do so. Up to the higher ground and away to safety. So after all of that, it was still a 1-1 trade-off with the Ancient Apparition going down for the Bristleback. I think Resolution's also hoping for someone with a bottle here, but unfortunately for him, the only person who's got that is Yogi, and he's busy in the mid lane. Alright, so Empire just going to back it up again. They got the better trade-off in that one. They held onto their tier 1 tower. You did get the Brewmaster split onto cooldown. You're surviving a Night Stalker who's battling during the nighttime phase. How's he looking as well? So he's got the Ogre Club available. As now Yulsip has arrived for the Lina. This getting scouted out by the Leica Wolf. It's about to kill over and reveal the fact that, yeah, bomb, there's no one now. Night Stalker getting ready to fight again. Smoke of Deceit purchased up on him, but he's not ready to fight because the Darkness is on cooldown for another 105 seconds. And we are still burning our way through the daytime. So Night Stalker's power is a lot more limited, and he can't really fight during the daytime. You need to have this crippling fear. It's the 5-second nighttime duration. 3 seconds isn't really enough to ensure the kill over on someone like a Puck or a Timbersaw. They need more time. Which is why nighttime is the perfect time for Moscow 5. Well, okay, so it's going to force out the tier 1. The Ice Blast's going to cause them some problems though. Lina as well as Screen getting hit by this. But the tower's down for the count anyway. And Empire, they're just sitting back. They don't want to fight. They want to keep the split push going. We get a hand of minus now on Ancient Apparition. So that explains the reason why he wasn't buying up into the Point Booster and working his way into the Aghanim Scepter. We're looking at a level increase build instead for Always Wanna Fly. He wants to get up to that level 16, have that level 3 ultimate with the Aghanim Scepter. That combination will let them do something. Slander, okay, he may think that he broke that smoke. It's actually, this is a trap. This is such a trap. They swap, Slander, the silence is going to be there, but Brewmaster jumps in, and that big Chakram, they don't have enough damage left, but the Ice Blast kills off Slander. The Brewlings will be affected by this, but at the same time, he already got the split off, so why does he have to care? He doesn't. Silent backs up. It's a Bristle for a Timber and a VS. Trade-off wise, we'll get to see it right here. The advantage well in favor of Moscow 5. Even a regeneration rune for the Brewmaster. 3 extra ball charges and a regen rune. Aggressive wards get to be placed, so it looks like Moscow 5's got some plans for this bottom lane. Looking towards that tier 1 tower. What's its life points at? Low. Very, very low. In fact, within deny range for Team Empire if they want to come in and just get rid of this now. If they don't, then the Brewmaster's going to take the tower. Here's that TP coming in. So Yoki is not feeling confident about being this close. And yeah, the tower's going to belong to Moscow 5. It's not worth risking his life to get the denial. Because he's got no way out of that. Team Empire. They gotta look to try and push down some lanes now. The BKB is arriving for Resolution. So flying out at the right time, Silent's going to be building himself into his own Yule Scepter too, so more protection or potentially removal of enemy heroes from fights. Well, they need to try and just take out this tier 1 tower. Remember, you're still running with... Actually, there's not even an aura strat. There's not a single point up in a low hard dance Vengeance aura. So they're not finding the big increase of damage, but you do have the 4 points up in house, so I suppose that's big enough for most people. But beating down through these towers quickly isn't going to happen. ZXC TP's in, Brewmaster as well. Most of that was done in Fog of War, but now they see the Night Stalker as well. And Empire. It's either fight or flee. And the answer is flee. Resolution will TP to the bottom lane, and Puck, Always Wanna Fly, goes all the way back to base. Wondering if Empire in the late game feel they have the advantage here, because I'm not quite sure they do.
Radiant's middle tower
I know Lina
is
drops
under
off, but this Night Stalker is basically at the level of a semi-core right now. And with that unobstructed vision, he's running after, and Sound and Loa don't see him coming. Now that observer ward up on top of the hillside, and they're just trying to get away. Luckily for them, they do have this 15% movement speed bonus coming out from the smoke, so they can outrun screen. But this Aghanim Scepter is just... There's nowhere to hide. There's no way that Team Empire can now surprise Moscow 5. So it turns into a point where Team Empire understand that they have to directly attack. That's the only way this is going to work. They have to directly attack up against Moscow 5. Resolution. Looks like a bit of a misclick. He started his TP and then ended up failing on it. Alright, so we had a random person join in. We actually asked him to leave before. Wonderful people who give out passwords. Alright, so Moscow 5. They're looking in towards Roshan now. They can do this because they know they have unobstructed vision around the pit, so... Team Empire, though, they can delay this. They got to TP themselves back to the tier 2 tower, throw in a Chakram, throw in something, but then again, Resolution's TP is on cooldown. Silent doesn't even have a TP scroll. Roshan belongs to Moscow 5. They've got it. And the Aegis Immortal will be taken by Slander with a fresh Crimson Guard too. Moscow 5 could just try and force out the middle lane.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So they could look towards the tier 2 tower. That Ice Blast is going to slow him down a little bit though. 3 heroes getting hit by that. Still only a level 1, so the initial damage isn't really that great from Always Wanna Fly. I say I would have hurt him up a little bit. But now Hyperstone? Yeah, it's a Hyperstone for Resolution. They really are just trying to 5-man ball this. Get into that Assault Cuirass for Resolution, and just man mode through. Screen's making his way over at the moment, so he sees Resolution quite clearly. Caught a glimpse of Silent as well, and that's why they moved down. Silent into the tree line. He can't TP out this one, and he knows it as well. And Brewmaster, well, he's also gone down for the count. We're going to stick with... Oh, Silent. Did he actually successfully just juke that out? Like, they didn't have any real stuns left available. Anyway, meanwhile, bottom lane. So, Brewmaster and VS both go down here. 1-for-1 trade-off as Lina was able to kill off the Vengeful Spirit. But it's still better that the Brewmaster ended up dying. We're able to get rid of at least that Observer Ward on the high grounds. That means we're walking around with... Yep. Exactly the same as what I said they did against the Broodmother. The support buys the gem, the Aghanim's already purchased on the Night Stalker, and everything else he does from now on is all about ensuring he just finds the farm to stay alive. He runs in, even with the DD rune, Resolution, he has to run away from this one as quick as he can with that ultimate. But the Weave's having its effect, taking away this armor of his. The mid tower's also denied up. Moscow 5 is like they're the ones holding all the cards right now. Even though the net worth and the experience doesn't really seem to be that much of a difference, they're the ones calling the shots because they're the ones with the vision. And the Laguna Ags upgrade. With a 900 range, the damage is crazy and you got a 60-second cooldown on that much damage. 675 damage every 60 seconds. Yeah. Jump in. Quick Drunken Haze over on the puck. That Ice Blast is on the way in again too, so I'll hit Slander as well as the Brewmaster. And Timbersaw. Yep. I don't know what he was trying to bait out right then. He's gonna be careful with Zexy having that Yule Scepter. He could just catch him out. So they're just trying to delay it. Resolution still hasn't TP'd back yet. There's no fortification available for the Dire side, so let the tier 2 tower go. And Resolution just is accepting the trade-off. The fortification's down, his walls and catapult will finish the job here. The Drunken Haze might make this a little bit more difficult, however, and he's missed the timing for the denial. So Lycan will take that one out. He's not going to commit the ultimate, but Resolution has to get out of dodge right now. He could try and TP, but if Brewmaster's quick enough and close enough on the split, then Resolution's going to go down. Why is he not ulting? Is he trying to turn and fight this one? A BKB and then TP out. That's his only way home. There's no basher over on the bristleback, and that'll be the only thing, or on screen, they'll be able to go through that immunity. So the BKB is great protection, but that will be the 10-second BKB charge now triggered out by Resolution in order to escape. Sure, he secured the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, but that BKB is his bread and butter when it comes to the fights.
Silence!
Alright. So how's Timbersaw looking? Not getting closer towards that Bloodstone of his. Actually wondering if Yoki even wants to still go for the Bloodstone. He's kind of like that Disable guy. With a Blink Dagger, he's a good initiator. Slander's way too close to him. They see the Dire Observer Ward up on top of the high ground too because of the, obviously, the gem. Just a small little thing as well. While you might see this huge area around Night Stalker, note that the gem doesn't have the same radius. So while you might think this is like a legal map hack right now, it still does come with some levels of limitations. You don't see everything on the map. Remember too, it doesn't reveal smoked up units, and that could give you the an overconfidence element. But still, you can see a crap ton, so it's an advantage no matter how we look at it. Resolution still getting closer and closer towards this Assault Cuirass. Nothing can really stop him from farming, and what are we really seeing from Moscow 5 coming up from the same level of farm? Now, you got Nag and Scepter over in Alina. That's terrific. Ever since she purchased it, she hasn't used it. Now, Silent, Light Striker Ray's going to connect. He's got your Scepter and Blink Dagger available. As actually, he's not going to commit to sticking around here. So Silent just gets his TP cancelled. He's also already working on having that Aghanim Scepter upgrade, which means if Screen is looking for a BKB as his next major item, then he still won't be able to freely move around. Same thing for the Bristleback. The Bristleback has gone the road of the tank. He's got his pipe up and running, which is going to help his entire team out when it comes to that Ancient Apparition blast. And he's also got the Crimson Guards. That's going to help him when they battle up against the Lycan. So all these things working nicely together. Silent. He also has over on one, so he can then try and blink himself away. Phase shift, blink, orb. He's still walking, but then he'll join it. Screen. How far are you going to commit to this man? Going underneath the tier 2 tower, not while phase shift is up. And the Dream Call was also still available. So it would have been pretty ballsy for Screen to attempt such a thing. The full Assault Cuirass is now done over on Resolution, so the team fight armor for Empire becomes a lot better. So both Vlad's as well as the Assault Cuirass will try and keep Empire on top, even though Big Num gives a big swing from the weave. They'll probably more than likely focus on just doing this very defensively now. Make sure, yeah, he does this. Cover his own teammates. He missed his Lena, but that's primarily his team's fault because they weren't close enough together.
Dire's top tower
So tier 2 tower drops, and Empire's only got one last remaining outer tower. Well, Moscow 5, well, they're holding on to 2. But that doesn't really mean much when you got heroes like a Lycan on the field. They push so quickly, even without Necro units. He pushes so damn quickly. But the Bristleback, for me, does something very, very similar. It's that high physical DPS once you got the Warpath stacks up. The only thing I'd like to see a little bit more over on the Bristleback is some mana regeneration, because he just doesn't have anything beyond stick charges. Screen can see always on a fly at the moment. He should also be able to scout out the fact that Resolution's here. H is waiting for more help. TP out, and there it is. Quick Silence gets the control. They have the Sun inside of that too. And Lena ensures the kill with just one quick Dragon Slave. Up to 2.8k gold now. I'm wondering, 2 of ZXC's going to look for a Blink Dagger, so he gets the Blink Duels into Hex. That way they're able to capitalize on the vision. Need to clean up the creep wave before he picks this up, because he doesn't want to reveal out the item yet. So Blink Dagger, yep. Blink Dagger purchased. Aghanim Scepter almost out as well for the Brewmaster. What is he? Alright. Go with that.
Radiant's top tower is
So
under
close to
attack.
having his Ags.
Dire's
He
bottom
just needs
tower
one more
is
creep to
under
walk up
attack.
from this wave, and he'll just Midas it.
Structures
And
are
that's his
fortified.
cash to finish up the Aghanim Scepter. But we're doing trade-offs, so the Ancient Apparition lets the blast off. The Pipe, again, protecting their life points for now. Fortification from the Radiant side is already triggered. Dire also the same.
Radiant's top tower is under
So we just turned to a trade-off. Lycan, he could actually give his Howl over to his teammates, but right now he's holding on to it. It is still a 35-second cooldown on that, but they would have finished the tier 2 tower by now. At Moscow 5, do they TP back or they keep going? They let the trade happen and have no reply. Roshan's not up just yet. It's another 20 seconds until he's gonna arrive. And now Resolution pops off the Howl. Well, this allowing his Wolves to beat into that tier 2 tower. A screen. He scouts out Silent on the high ground. An Aghanim Scepter again. It's impossible for Empire to really stop it. The only chance they've got is when they can fight during daytime, but with the way that Night Stalker's ultimate now works, there's so little daytime.
It's not the heat.
And there goes
it's
that
the
blink deck going to work on
humiliation.
Ancient Apparition. But yeah, darkness doesn't stop the clock anymore. The clock continues to roll through. So you can keep this in a never-ending state. Well, not a never-ending state, but you'll get pretty close to a never-ending state of nighttime. I think there would only be maybe 20 to 30 seconds worth of real time once you have your level 3 ultimate, if you triggered that darkness at the start of the daytime.
Silence.
Yeah. It's pretty dangerous for Empire anywhere across this map, and they know it. That's the reason why they're just looking to get stronger. Lycan is definitely doing that. Up to 2.8k gold over on this Lycan. Resolution's got multiple choices ahead of him. Either he tries to find more DPS, goes into something like a Monkey King bar to try and offset that Drunken Haste from Moscow 5's Brewmaster. Or he goes down a different line and just tries to tank up. Pick up something like a Heart. That Dire Observer Ward. Welcome to crap vision. We're in darkness right now. This is the vision of the Dire side. It's just so restrictive. And under the cover of darkness, Moscow 5 very quick. Look at Lena. Beating the crap out of Roshan. She'll take the Aegis, the Immortal, and it looks to be a Scythe of Vice build coming in from the Lena. With that Aegis, the Immortal behind him now, this should be a push up. Up to the high ground. Maybe when... no, just do it now. The darkness is still level 2. Sure, it's going to wear off, but it's still nighttime. You've still got that unobstructed vision. Actually, I take it back, sorry. We're actually at 9 AM. Okay, wait 67 seconds and then go. Are they going to try and battle on top? This is that danger time for Empire. They're going to try and smoke gank onto the top lane. The gem will still scout out if there's going to be a Lycan Wolf looking for him. And there's no reason why Empire should feel like they're going to come from behind. If Yoki dies here, actually, the worst thing will be if Resolution dies for Empire. He's worth so much money right now. The Ancient Apparition, they're happy if he dies. But it's going to be Resolution. He walks into 4 heroes. The BKB will trigger. Attempt to TP out in time. Is he going to have enough? He does. The Ice Blast will also give Moscow 5 a little bit of salt in the wound for not getting that pickup. Again, though, they do burn through the BKB, but there's a large amount of time taken up by their heroes trying to go for this smoke gank. And Resolution is going to go in for a control factor, in fact. Not looking for that extra damage output, or at least direct damage output from the Monkey King bar, but he's going to go for an Abyssal Blade control. I'll always want to fly has reached that Aghanim Scepter, so Empire's getting the skills that will pay the bills. Just need to make sure they can keep that control up. Silent. Well, there's your blink up from Brewmaster. He started the split but cancels. Empire just want to back the hell out of here. That's a haste rune over on Silent. Hence he was up so far. So they're coming in for the Roshan. And Silent just wants to get the hell out of here. Oh, they can see him though. Cancel the TP. Laguna Blade. He phase shifted it. He phase shifted the Laguna Blade. The Ice Blast is also on its way down, but no one's there. They're all running in towards the middle lane now. And Ice Blast on cooldown for 30 seconds time. Moscow 5 have a window. It's not much of a window, but it's a window. And there's no fortification for Empire just yet. 14 seconds on that one. And Moscow 5, they haven't pushed fast enough So Empire will be able to hold him back. That Ice Blast always going to fly a little bit too close. Way too close. The Silent jumps in. Nice swap. Instantly gets the stun over on the Nine Stalker. He's going to go down on Rizzy. The Shallow Grave protecting screen, allowing him to retreat back out of here. Yogi's trying to stick with him. Throws out the Chakra and the walls will beat him down. The Vengeful Spirit may have died for this, but they brought down the Nine Stalker. The Gem Beam dropped down Yogi. Needs a tree, and he doesn't actually reach the tree on the bottom, but he's still got enough survivability. He can walk his way out of this one. The Ice Blast still managed to connect quite nicely here on Moscow 5. Remember, it's the Aghanim's upgrade, so Lina being protected for the moment. They waited this one out. If that Shallow Grave doesn't last long enough, there's your Aegis Immortal, triggering out Slander. The hand, that chilling, that Ice Blast effect lasts for so long. He comes back to World of the Living. Laguna blades down Resolution. But ZXC deep underneath that tier 3 tower. Another Shallow Grave here from Big Num, but Lina knows that she is dead. There's no way home out this one, and looks like Brewmaster swapped back up again. A double kill coming in from Silent. Yes, they do lose Resolution, but their tier 3 tower is held, and overall they had one buyback and a Vengeful Spirit. They lost Resolution, but they got 4 heroes for that one, defended their racks, and, well, it was pretty even. Empire did have a little bit of an advantage. They don't really gain a lot of gold and experience from it, but they have a very successful defense. Silent, is he? No. Potentially he could have a crack here, a big number. That screen on the way ahead. Silent, get out here. Get out. Blink, blink, blink. Too late. I think Silent's about to give the gem back over. The Ice Blast is on the way. Silent gonna orb away. Big Num, I think he's actually dead. He's going to time his Shallow Grave perfectly here. He doesn't want to take the damage from the Dream Coil. He knows he'll die if he does. And the Shallow Grave, the Chilling Touch is going to like last too long. Like, no matter what happens here, he's dead. Always going to fly until we get that pickup. Power of the Ancient Apparition. And Silent, phase shift, blinks further north. Remember, the Aghanim Scepter from the Nine Stalker is able to reveal that, but they're not going to chase. The low dance was there, and their top lane's been forced in by the Timbersaw. So they have to back up, and Timbersaw, man, he actually got that Aghanim Scepter beforehand. I mean, that Bloodstone beforehand. Always want to fly, knows he's dead. Accepts his fate. Yeah, and Timbersaw getting that Bloodstone before the fight is able to give him 13 bloods. What the hell? Where the hell is that even coming from? Oh my. Okay, yeah. Alright, so we're just gonna play without those, Alright, yeah, we're good now. Okay, no we're not! Can someone not call home right now? Can someone not call home? Okay, we're gonna go to a quick screen here, so I can, find out what the crap is doing that. Because now I know what it is. You know what? Damn it to hell. Alright, we're good. We're rolling again, and I'll bring you back to the game. Meanwhile, Vengeful Spirit dies on top lane. And you can thank Pro Dota RU for that one. That's who it was. Alright, so Timbersaw has the Aghanim Scepter up and running now, which makes Moscow 5's push up to the high ground almost impossible. Like, with double Chakrams and Ice Blast, with Orb damage as well, with Wave of Terror trying to push up into that, it's so risky to go high ground. They have to kill off Empire while they're outside of the base. That's the only way that this is going to happen. Screen. Can they jump it fast enough? Silent was visible. They can see him up here right now, and Lycan triggers the ultimate. Nine Stalker just walked into it. Remember, there is that Basher. He took the damage from Silent's ultimate. That's an Aghanim's upgraded Dream Coil, which means, again, that BKB, I mentioned it before, it doesn't provide the necessary protection. And because there was no protection, he takes the stun, he's down on the sidelines. There isn't buyback available. There's no Roshan to really capitalize on the time for it. But Empire are able to gain a little bit more map control in the meantime. So Moscow 5, looks like that Night Stalker isn't invincible during nighttime. But then again, he put himself in that position. And I'm fairly certain that Screen knows he did. The fresh scythe device now arrived over on Lena. So they've got the control factor they're finally searching for over on the Lycan. With the potential to pick him up before he gets the BKB charge off. And if it's not the Lycan, they can find the Timbersaw. And they can use that at any time. There's no BKB that'll be stalling out the attack. Full Abyssal Blade on Resolution, no longer having to rely on the chance of a bash. He does have that direct control. Alright, so, Team Empire. 4-man group up for a smoke. They're missing the 5th man though, but Always Wanna Fly doesn't want to really be part of this. He wants to sit as far back as possible. At the same time now, Moscow 5, they're also going to attack it, and now Yoki blinks himself away. They got the Hex over at him, but Silent controls at the Brewmaster. The Ice Blast on the way in here, but the swap back out again. The Ice Blast have very little effect. It's still got the chill effect and Screen. He's going to get beaten down by Resolution. There's your Abyssal Blade control. Resolution's the main man we should be following right now, because he's trying to kill off that Lena, but can't do so. Looking for a way to return in, and Silent getting stunned up in the middle of the river. They have to back up now, Empire. They're not feeling strong enough. That Brewmaster roll is about to wear off, so maybe then they can fight. Always Want to Fly with the TP out. He'll get out to safety. Yoki, not the perfect Timber Chain away, but he'll buy him enough time to blink away. And ZXC able to get a double kill out of this too. Blink Dagger off cooldown. He could blink, get that scythe. Needs the stun as well. Gonna miss the stun, and Yoki, because of this, is gonna chain himself up to the high ground. Might have been better to actually start with the Yule Scepter instead. As far as what really comes after this fight, Roshan's your only thing, but Roshan's another 40 seconds away. So 2 minutes and 10 seconds away from the full spawn time. And this will be Roshan to be, yep. I gotta wait for it. It's like Wolves trying to keep tabs on it as well. Empire's gonna be back up and running. So no advantage gained. The Assault Cuirass is at least up for the Bristleback. He's full tank ability. All the armor he can get, all the life points he can get, and all the immunity he can get from both magical as well as physical. He's kind of got it there. And Roshan just spawned. They saw him at the last moment, and here they come. Like Wolves left a bit of a scout out. Who's got the gem right now on the Radiant side? It's in the hands of the Dazzle. And Dazzle's going to move over, so they'll see the Lycan Wolf inside the pit, the Weave having its effect, the Orb's coming in, the Ice Blast, it connects over on the Night Stalker. So he's not regenerating right now. San tries to jump in, the Brewmaster back in the split and Resolution, trying to focus on the Night Stalker. Laguna Blade still able to have its effect, and Resolution wants to back up, hasn't used the Abyssal Blade just yet. The Howl has already gone off, so they found that bonus damage, but unable to inflict into anyone. Resolution has to keep running, his ulti is worn off. He's in a lot of trouble right now, so is Aloha Dance. They're both getting caught, the Abyssal Blade turn on the screen, but the blink up from ZXC able to get that Light Strike array off. Aloha Dance will die in the bottom lane too. And there's 2 heroes down from Team Empire. Roshan is still exposed, and all that Empire can really do is just try and push the lanes out. But your middle lane's pushing in quite hard. Roshan belongs to Moscow 5. It's an easy fight. At the end of the day for M5, the Ice Blast, damn, that's such a bitch. As Chakrams from Yoki. They're actually playing the stall game. Slander's seeing this, he's got no mana whatsoever, but they've got the kill on Roshan. The double Chakrams, that's not enough damage, not with the Ice Blast effect as well. It did at least make him work for it, and they're not in a great health position to just try and push up the lanes now. So Team Empire can still hold on and defend the lines. Alright, so we get BTs over on the Timbersaw. We're turning into a split push game.
Invisibility.
Where are you headed to, Screen? With an Invis rune, that gem back in his hands. And he's going to find the Timbersaw. Still mass Sharkham's flying around. He needs more help if he's going to get this kill. Remember, this is still meant to be a support Night Stalker. Even if he has sort of made his way into being a core role, he's not dealing anywhere near as much damage to get these kills. That's why he needs the Lina here with him. And she is now. As all of Empire move down to the bottom lane. That Radiant Observer Ward's going to scout them out. With the gem over on Always Wanna Fly, he's able to get rid of that. And they really just... they just picked up the puck. Combination with Laguna Blade, Hex, Blink Dagger. So Puck's on the sidelines. He does have buyback available. So Empire is very capable of defending this. And then a Blink Dagger in, instantly into the split. Timbersaw sent up and towards the app. The Ice Blast coming in, the Puck's already bought back. That Ice Blast going to connect on 3. A perfect silence in for the Dream Call. The BKB's going to protect. In fact, Bristleback getting forced to be stunned out by the VS swap. VS will still go down here, but Resolution comes through the rear, looking to munch through as many of these brilliants as possible. Gets the stun over on screen. It's a double kill for Resolution. The Morph sent up and towards the air. Silent, he's going to go down already. No, he orbs himself away to safety. He's ticking down to the urn, however. Silent doesn't have enough life points to find this. He dies over on the east. Buyback by the Night Stalker, buyback by the Lina. They're both trying to return to the engagement at the moment. Always want to fly. 6 seconds until his next ultimate. He actually needs to survive just so we can get this one off. The Sharkrams are flying in big numb. He's sitting in the back end of the lines on very, very low life. The Raxas still have not gone down yet. Yoki is attempting the defense. 15 plus zone charge is helping him out until the Laguna Blade just pops him almost instantly. Your buyback still available. Here comes your Ice Blast. It's going to connect on 3 heroes here. The Brewmaster tried to evade it with the blink. Not going to happen. Fortification is up, but the mid-melee Rax is gone. Now Team Empire knows Moscow 5. Actually, they're going to force further? Yeah, they are. There's no Brewmaster split, but you do have the Aegis Immortal, and that splits off cooldown in 30 seconds time from now. The Ice Blast back off cooldown in 16 seconds. I don't have the control from that. Resolution's Abyssal Blaze off cooldown too with the BKB, as well as his shape shift. And there's your jump in. A low R dance. It was the initiation from Moscow 5 and might fight him in the butt right now. The Shallow Grave is protecting the Brewmaster. He's not going to get himself out this one in time. That will be the Aegis Immortal triggering out. Remember, he's got split back off cooldown in 7 seconds time. So they need to bring him down right now. Resolution hasn't used the Abyssal Blade just yet, but he's going to be able to ice at them out. But will they? ZXC trying to battle it out. He's almost got the kill on Resolution. He can't finish the job. The catapults as well. It doesn't keep the attack going. They hold the line. The Brewmaster is able to bail out to safety. And they are home free as far as the top lane goes for Team Empire. The rest of it's a bit of a mess, however. And that's because they just had their mid-racks taken out and the tier 3 tower was lost on top 2. BT's in for the Lycan. They really are just looking for any lane that slightly pushes out to go for a counteraxe. Or if they take a fight, if there's any level of momentum on a wave, they TP themselves up there and push as hard as they can. Because they were just able to survive both Aegis. They didn't survive the cheese though. Thought that actually maybe the cheese was popped, but the Bristleback never got it off. So we still got that available for the next fight. Yogi's done a great job of forcing out the top lane. Still got 14 Bloodstone charges up his sleeve. And looks like he is building into his own Scythe of Vice now. That's the Aghanim Scepter upgrade for the Dazzle. I don't think there's any hero with an Aghanim's upgrade that hasn't got it yet. Yep, everyone's got their Ags. 4 across the Moscow 5 lineup, 3 across the Empire lineup. The tier 2 town will be melted in the mid. But already you're starting to see that armor just whittle away from them, but they want to do as much damage as they can and get the counter-racks. VS, again, forcing that swap stun over to the top of the Bristleback. They nuke him down. The buyback will be here in Empire. They kind of have to bail out this one. They've already bitten off more than they can chew. They got the buyback out from the Bristleback. They just have to get away to safety. The Sharkram's going to try and give cover fire to Resolution, who BKBs and then just runs himself away. The Night Stalker will keep the vision, so they know where he's moving on that front. The Brewmaster, he's going to pick up the Timbersaw. This is actually quite big because this will delay that Scythe of Vice of the Timbersaw. And Empire just have to let him die. Maybe Yoki can force a little bit more time and effort out from them. The Weaver's there, but Yoki deny himself. You'll set it defensively up, and he'll deny himself right now with a Bloodstone. 34 seconds until he's back to the world of living, but Moscow 5 are ready to push. They only have buyback left over on the Brewmaster, but they want to push up through mid and take out that top racks. Oh, they got Action Rune to do it. A double damage rune to go into a Bristleback. Let him just run up the mid and just destroy Team Empire. But Empire, they know what they've got to do. Push out the side lanes as quick as they can. This game is still anyone's, even though Empire is down by a Rax. They know their team fight is still stronger at the moment. As long as that Brewmaster ulti is down and that Ice Blast can connect, then their team fight is stronger. It's an Aghanim's Brewmaster, so... Slander. He really can get frustrated with this. Wait, have we hit Year of the Beast already? I don't think we're at that point. But there is a pause coming out. As the Dazzle's having some problems. Nothing being said, he's just having problems. I would like to know what that says. And I'm hoping it's not our little friend who's inside the game. Because he was the one that called us before. Alright, so pings are good. They're good to go. Alright, fantastic. It's not him. Thank God. Yeah, it's not a ping problem. But we don't know what your problem is if you don't speak in English. Obviously, you're both Russian, so it's understandable when you're telling each other that. They can't communicate over towards us. Alright, Silent. Looks like he's going to be building into that Scythe of Ice for himself. Still another 1,000 gold away from having that one, but such a critical item when he's going up against a hero like that Brewmaster, especially if Brewmaster now wants to put that extra cash into something like a BKB. Now, he may not do so primarily because the Puck's already walking around with an Aghanim Scepter, so he's going to take the stun anyway, and you can see the way the Team Empire are forcing that long duration stun out. They don't want the hero just to run inside that Dream Call. They want to get the Dream Call to do the stun, not just the initial control stun. So the VS is always finding that perfect target that you could just drag back. That's why we saw before. The Dream Call was roughly in the position of the Raxus, and back where our Team Empire logo is here, that's where the swap position was. And they try to drag the Bristleback of all people underneath the tier 4 tower, so he was forced to take a little bit more extra damage and bring him away from the rest of the engagement, because it was actually quite a smart play, and when I can finally start drawing again, I'm going to do it. What he actually did was, you had you pulled the Bristleback over towards the tier 4 towers. Resolution then went out through the bottom lane and came in behind the lineup of Moscow 5. This meant the Bristleback had no effect in the early stages of that engagement on the Lycan. And that was the important thing. No Nasal Goo, no quill stacks being prepped up from the very, very start. It was just pure out control of the Bristleback. So Lycan was free to jump in there, trying to attack in towards the Lina. If you can find the Dazzle on the back lines, go ahead and do it. Obviously, you'll have to change targets almost instantly once the Shallow Grave has been committed. You don't have a hero like an Axe to get that Cunning Blade through the Shallow Grave. You just hope that the Ice Blast has managed to connect on those heroes, and you're able to find the kill. Unfortunately for them, the Ice Blast didn't connect over on the Dazzle, so they didn't do enough work. But they were able to control up the Night Stalker. There's just so many life points to get through. Now you got Brewmaster, Night Stalker, and Bristleback, while Lena's pumping out huge amounts of damage and having great disables as well. She is starting to camp to a point where there is not much more of a use for Sexy, but we're 50 minutes into the game. Almost any hero would hit that mark if you were that core mid-solo. It's like seeing Puck saying, yeah, Puck's going to be really useful after 50 minutes. Like, Puck, actually, he doesn't have enough farm to be massively useful. They're going to 5-man smoke outside of their base. Now, Team Empire, summon the Wolves as well. They do go in Viz. Is this at the same time Moscow 5 are grouping up for their own smoke? They are back a long way. Remember, it is the Night Stalker with the Aghanim Scepter. So this is what they see currently. Brewmaster is the closest one to him, and he broke the smoke. They blink themselves up. Brewmaster on the high ground. This is not where Empire really want to walk up to try and fight. They feel like there's no other choice. The BKB TP's back by the Night Stalker. He just wants to be safe. They have the Rax advantage up the mid. And they don't really want to take that fight up against Empire. Not while that buyback is also still on cooldown for the Bristleback. They do not have Slander twice over, and Empire has proven they can nuke down one hero very quickly. And taking the Bristleback out of this fight removes most of your damage source, apart from the initial burst damage coming out from the Lina. Obviously, she's got a lot of physical DPS because the 4 points up in Fiery Soul, but yeah. You're not really going to rely on a physical DPSing Lina, even if she does do 190 damage, plus the extra bonuses with the attack speed. Alright, they're waiting for Roshan. Well, potential spawn time is now. Maybe this is also another reason why Empire want to try and find that gank just before potential Roshan time. And it's a quick one. It's a really, really quick one. Only 10 seconds of the Roshan. So one Wolf, if he walks in right now, they'll know that Roshan's up, and they can be very quick about this. Moscow 5, they'll know this is the time for it. And Silent, there's your orb. They know it. Empire is very much aware now that Roshan is alive. As a full, okay, we're getting a refresher orb build from Resolution. Double ulti, double BKB, and probably more importantly, the double Abyssal Blade control is there. Resolution's got now 10 seconds properly onto that BKB again. They void over onto the Vengeful Spirit. Lower Dance in a lot of trouble. He's got to almost swap in his own teammate if he's going to try and survive that. But Lina just beats him down. The Ice Blast doesn't connect on anybody. So VS is down for the count. Screen sees that Roshan's up. VS will now buy back into the game as the Observer Ward's being planted down by Empire. They don't see inside the pit, but at least they'll be able to see up to the tree lines. And with the Vortexes and Chakrams going in, they've got the openings. Resolution! Oh, the refresh maybe for not, absolutely not. He's already down to maybe 10% of his life points. They need to keep him alive. He's down! Resolution on the sidelines. There's no buyback. He spent all the money on the refresher orb. Brewmaster now in the middle of the Chakrams. He's trying to actually split himself up. Yule Scepter up. There's no shadow on him. The Ice Blast is now on the way. Brewmaster did go down. There was a little bit of chill effect, but Brewmaster will buy himself back into the game. TPs himself onto that range creep in towards the mid, jumps up, looking for the kill on the Ancient Apparition. They're really committing hard. Double Chakrams flying back out again, removing a lot of the life points of the Night Stalker, but he'll still be able to survive. Battling up hard, up against the puck. Buyback gets out from the Ancient Apparition, but they cannot afford to lose Silent right now. The Chakrams again flying out, but the Brewmaster goes in for the split. The Yulset from Puck trying to protect him, orbing away to safety, but the Night Stalker hot in the tails, crippling fear, can't get off in time. Silent will get back to base safely. The Brewmaster split's going to wear off. The creep wave already pushing into the tier 4 towers. While up on top lane, the Melioraks will get dropped. But that all started off with Resolution getting hexed up. It was the initiation blink-in from Lina that did all the work. Ice Blast. They can't slow anything down. It's not even going to affect any of the creep wave up on top lane or any of the heroes. So Moscow 5 just rotate down the bottom. They have one last fight here, Empire, in 28 seconds. There's no fortification. So Empire still have to work through the tier 4 towers. Yoki trying to stall this up. Empire, the only way they win this now is with a full genocide against Moscow 5 and a push down middle lane. It's the only way that's going to happen. Yoki jumping in deep, really trying to stall up. 13 seconds till Resolution's back up again. Silent on the front lines. They've got screen locked in. Now he trigger his own BKB. It's come back off cooldown again as Yoki trying to find the opening. It's 4 megas up at the moment. Can they catch out the Brewmaster? If they can get him while he's got no buyback, this will probably be more critical than the kills they're looking for on the bottom lane screen. On the run out of here, the Ice Blast unable to affect Night Stalker. Do they have enough damage? No, they don't, but the Brewmaster, they have him down. Resolution's triggered out the ultimate. They're running down. Silent Zexy, if he gets bashed by Roshan right now, no he doesn't. So Empire's going to try and grab the Aegis the Immortal and then make, what, a beeline for mid? They have a 93-second window here, Empire, where potentially they can just force the mid lane. But they're up against Megas that need more pushing power than what a low Ardance can offer. And they need the creep wave. That's the only way this is going to work. The creep wave must enter the Radiant base. A little bit of protection for the Timbersaw. Whatever they've got, they're throwing in. Timbersaw is the only one with a buyback, but he does have BTs to bring him back to front lines. So Empire will have 6 heroes here. The cheese picked up by Ancient Apparition, probably his job to make sure he gets that over to. Well, then again, the Immortality was picked up by Puck. Was he? He's building a Maelstrom? He cancels inside the Vice. Even Lina now has double sights, double Laguna Blades, and a mana pool that will not support it. She bought a refresher orb. Like with a slave spam as well as the Light Strike Array. And 100 mana burn from that. Like you're still popping through. No, the mana pool support it. Yeah, she's got enough. There is enough mana available. Alright, so we're gonna be good to go. A quick breed pause. Let's look at how many buybacks are there for Moscow 5 though. Like there's no Brewmaster for 50 seconds. But they got double Linas, double Bristles, double Night Stalkers, and double Dazzles. Moscow 5 just... all they gotta do is repel this push from Empire. That's all they have to do. Empire do not want to try and wait this one out. Because they've also got buybacks on the Ancient Apparition as well as the Vengeful Spirit. Sure, if Puck can pick up another 251 gold, that's also going to be great. He'll have buyback available, but he's already got the Aegis Immortal, so he's feeling great. And Moscow 5 could just wait out the Aegis timing if they feel even slightly threatened. They've got to defend. Okay, so Empire have to push, but they can't. They're being controlled too much. This is the reason why that Maelstrom's being picked up over on the puck. I think he just wants to lightning shield up the Lycan as well and just send him in. But there's just too much push power coming out from the Megas. I don't think Empire have a choice. I actually believe that Empire have to wait for Moscow 5 to go for the death push. And then battle. But Moscow 5 can wait out. They can wait another 3.5 minutes. No problem whatsoever. Yoki's got some good sideline pushes. With 11 Bloodstone charges, 43 mana a second is also not too shabby. But the Chakrams burn through a lot. There's still 200 mana for the initial casting of each of those Chakrams. And silent counter pushing with the Maelstrom. Anything you've got. Moscow 5, I think they're just going to run in for the GG push. If this fails, and Empire manage to defend it, it's going to be huge. I don't know if it's going to be enough to go for a full GG, because Empire will cost them so much to defend this. Like, I thought maybe with the Brewmaster down they had a chance, because then it would be a 4-on-5. But Empire's got to be ready for this. Moscow 5 just waiting for the right time to pounce. And Empire being so defensive. That Lincoln Sphere that was purchased up before as well is protecting the puck. They try and keep this puck alive as long as they can. Get a good Dream Coil off. Remember as well, it's a long cooldown for the Dream Coil. It's still a very long time, so like you're not going to get double Dream Coils off. It's just multiple orbs and potentially double Yules. Like, that's an option, but maybe they're just hoping the puck can actually get the Aghanim's ulti off. Alright, Empire. Is Moscow 5 even gonna... Nope, they're waiting it out. That Aegis the Immortal's not gonna last for that much longer. Like, he's still 2.5 minutes through the duration, so there's still like double that time left, but still. What are they gonna do? Defend up against Megas all day? All Moscow 5 can do as far as funding farm here is in fact farming up in the lanes. So in a way, you are looking at Empire getting a slight advantage as far as experience and gold goes. But that's the very small upside of this coin. 2,300 gold now over on that Lycan. What else would you purchase into? Like, you got the Vladimir's offering. I think right now it's just holding on the buyback. That's the only thing. Needs another 300 gold until Resolution has buyback available. With Silence, well, will he just purchase something new? He's got the Ultimate Orb. Technically, he could sell the Ultimate Orb. And then he'll have money for his buyback. But that would blow any chance he'd ever have of having a Scythe device. I'm fairly certain he wants that Ultimate Orb back on himself once the Aegis the Immortal times out. So we will not want to sell that. Aloha Dance is out too far. They're going to try and pounce. They managed to get through the Lincoln Sphere pretty fast. Silent getting the follow-up silence on his XC, so he was unable to get the Laguna Blade damage out. Dream Call wafted by Silent. They have to back out right now. Empire have just lost their major control ability. They do still have the Abyssal Blade, but no Dream Call for 75 seconds. Moscow 5 are going to try and pounce, and those all to just try and defend Yoki. Again, they trigger his Lincoln Sphere. Resolution getting pounded pretty hard there. And then Brewmaster split. They send the Timbersaw up and towards the air. Where's that Ice Blast? He can't do it. It's still 11 seconds on the cooldown. And this could be the fight for Moscow 5. Trying to bring down Always Wanna Fly. The physical DPS from JC working nicely, but the cheats keeping Always Wanna Fly alive for now. Resolution, he needs more damage to Yoki. Doing a hell of a lot with those Chakrams. Now the Ice Blast will come out. So ZXC's on the sideline. They've also got the effect over on Dazzle, so no Shallow Grave will protect him. The buyback from the Lycan, the buyback from the Vengeful Spirit. Resolution back to front lines. He does have Shapeshift form available. Yoki barely staying alive. Brewmaster managed to get one crit. He needs another one. Where's the time from Resolution? He managed to get it. Brewmaster down for the count. The Fortress still under siege. as the Brusselback battling up against Resolution. He wants Big Dump. He can't claim it. He has to back up. Remember the Fortress. Objective-based gaming. Their fortifications still don't use a low-R dance. Gets a ton of in for the Sharkram screen. So low on life. The Sharkram's going to miss him though. Slender moves over, but there is enough damage to get the kill. They're buying back massively, but it's Megas, and that's GG. The Fortress goes down. They cannot repel firepower of that magnitude. The Empire, they were meant to be the ones wielding that, and they lost it. So game number 1. That's right. This is only our first game of the 2-game series. We'll go the way of Moscow 5. Game number 2 up after this short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back for more.